Today in the crypto space, we see the market turning green, Bitcoin up approximately 5% and Ethereum following its lead up approximately 4.5% give or take. The rest of the crypto space, the altcoins are also doing very well. Look at BNB, Solana, AVAX, and many more. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, guys, I want to focus on Bitcoin. Bitcoin made a nice move to the upside, but the question is this the beginning or are we expecting lower levels? So you know what? Let's talk about the news. Let's analyze the charts and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike and let's get right into it, guys. If you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, it doesn't matter. All we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of that volatility. If you appreciate that, subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you have any projects you want me to cover here on the channel, feel free to let me know in the comment section below. You can hit me up on those socials or you can join me live again at 7:30. The Discord is also a great place, a great community, lots of good alpha, lots of good trade setups and fundamentals there being talked about on a daily basis, so go check it out. All right, guys, let's begin this overall analysis of this market. We're going to begin by looking at the general landscape, top 100, looking at what's happening here. We'll take a look at Bitcoin, and of course we'll focus a little bit more on Bitcoin today because of course it made that move. You know, we've been waiting for a move on for Bitcoin. It's not the biggest move, let's be real, it's not the biggest move, but it is a move after a bit of a consolidation for a few days here, going sideways, planking sideways. So Bitcoin, we see, got a little bit of a pump, 5%, Ethereum 4% give or take. Tether depegging slightly, no FUD here, but just be aware that we are, you know, a little bit of a fluctuation here. That is very common still for Tether to get a little bit of this jitter, and don't be afraid of that just yet. There's nothing really to worry about. BNB getting a nice bounce, 5% to the upside. Is the FUD over with regards to BNB, Binance, and CZ and all of that? Guys, we have to be very aware that there's FUD in the bear market, lots of it, and we have to be able to see right through it, be able to identify undervalued opportunities so that way we can get in on a nice low level. And I feel like BNB got beat up significantly and brought it down to these lower levels. So I'm hoping BNB, Binance does kind of pull through this FUD and we get this bull market going. XRP getting a nice bounce, and many of these larger cap layer ones are looking pretty strong. Look at Solana, let's look at Polygon, let's look at Avalanche, let's look at Cardano. Where's Cardano? Cardano's up at least 4 or 5%. At least, yeah, 4.5% give or take. And this is the thing here, guys. In the last little while, I've been identifying the fact that a lot of these layer ones, where's Phantom? Phantom is somewhere here. They are basically undervalued and they are desperately trying to hold up at critical levels of support. And this is a very important thing because your risk to reward ratio is absolutely healthy. And when you see Bitcoin getting a bit of green, a bit of strength, those tokens that are at a good, healthy risk to reward ratio are primed. Those are great opportunities because you can put a very tight stop loss under invalidation and expect that bounce. So we see a lot of good projects doing very well, like, you know, Pulsar Protocol up 4%, Optimism 5%, a lot of the larger caps doing well. What else do we have? Stacks. We talked about Stacks in yesterday's live stream, and I made it very clear that, you know, when Stacks was doing well, everybody was hyped about it, everybody was loving it, but then in the last little while, Bitcoin going sideways, nobody's interested, and today Stacks is up 12%. So you can see that there is value in buying bottoms. There is value in buying red days. Now, Casput's still coming down to lower levels. We're hitting that, you know, 0.03 cents give or take, 20% to the downside in the last 7 days. Guys, this was one of the best trades of this bear market for me and my community. We took profits right off that top, and we are currently looking to buy back our positions on Casput. So we're going to continue looking here, and there are many good opportunities here. BitGet token getting a nice strengthy, you know, rally up to the higher levels. Injective 7%, a lot of good moves to the upside. And what was the best part about this is the last few live streams and the last few days we've been talking about Bitcoin getting that bullish divergence on the 4 hour and potentially getting a short relief bounce to the upside. And guys, this is what I want to talk about today. What should we be looking forward to? Is there a continuation up for these altcoins? Is there a continuation up for Bitcoin? And is Bitcoin going to lead this market into the bull run right now, right? This is the thing here, guys. This is where the magic starts to begin. Another thing that we need to be consider, basically understand that in September generally is one of the worst performing months for cryptocurrencies. Okay, it is usually a very red time, so we have to anticipate that maybe this is a bit of relief, short-term relief to the upside, and we could continue, you know, seeing September's being a very negative time for the market. So if that does happen, expect maybe a sell-off as we enter September. We're right around the corner, and this could be the final, you know, pump before that happens. And so be it, guys. We'll be prepared. We'll be one step ahead of the market to see what is happening. Phantom, that's what I was looking up 4%. So we're getting between 4% to about, you know, maybe 5-10% maximum on some of these coins right now, especially the larger caps. And for me, that's a really good thing. So short-term rally, short-term green, short-term bullish for sure. And then longer term, meaning daily, I'm still kind of hesitant. Okay, let's begin. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. Let's see what's going on with Bitcoin. We'll begin our analysis here, trying to see what's happening here in the immediate short term. On the daily, guys, on the daily, we are finally looking like we lifted up. Now we did lift up, and it's looking pretty good. We are entering the chop zone here on the daily, which for me is the 50% mark on the RSI. Let me zoom in here. The 50% mark means that we could be entering a consolidation before continuation. And then the question is, do we get a bit of a retracement within this consolidation to buy the dips at lower levels to get a better entry? Because right now we're pumping into a green candle and it is a bit scary. Okay, so let's look at this in a little bit more detail, because at the end of the day, we want to make sure we get good entries. Right now, this price action brought the momentum really high up really quickly, really deviated against this yellow line here, which means that the EMA, this yellow line, is lagging behind and is waiting for it to kind of, you know, basically catch up to the purple line. And two things can happen: either the yellow line catches up while the purple line goes sideways, or the purple line does come back down and we see a bit of a dip to lower levels while the yellow line kind of catches up and meets in the middle type of thing. Either way, there's two possibilities here, and I feel like the chop zone is very possible because we're in the 50 zone on the momentum on the daily. So we could go sideways and allow the momentum to catch up, the EMA to catch up, or we can take a bit of a dip, and of course that would be absolutely normal and healthy. At the end of the day, we did get a nice green price action to the upside. I'm convicted that this should continue up higher. Now, of course, there's no guarantee here, guys. The actual position to go in long was over at this level. We talked about this long position yesterday. We talked about it the day before. On the daily, I still feel like we could have another opportunity to get back in as a confirmation. But look at this MACD, nice EMA cross to the upside, green histogram bars facing up, doing its thing, maybe looking for an attempt to enter the bullish control zone. Now, what about if we do get that impulse and then we finally come back down, create a higher low, and then get another leg to the upside as a confirmation low? That would be absolutely healthy. So the daily, I think it's fair to say it's a 50-50 shot. And now we're gambling, right? So you don't want to get into a gambling position. Right now the gamble is, do we come down or do we continue up for the next leg? It feels like we're 50% way to an actual decent TP to protect yourself, because above 28,822, we start to incur a lot more risk, right? That this could be a level of a sell-off, right? It could be. Now we could come up and make a higher high, hitting the $32,500 level, maybe come sweep the highs and then finally capitulate and come down again and basically range out here for the next little while within this range. So we really have to understand what is happening here. We're trying to build the bottom for this range. Is this the bottom, or are we going to come back down and confirm the bottom with a lower low with class A bullish divergence, a double bottom with class B bullish divergence, maybe a higher low, which would be absolutely epic, of course, giving us that confirmation low, and trend is your friend, higher low, higher highs, higher low, higher highs, and we get to higher levels slow and steady grind to the upside. Now, all of this is very possible, but again, I do feel like this zone right here at this level, 28,800, could act as resistance going forward. And from a risk to reward ratio, you're 50-50. Basically, you're 50% up to this level. Yeah, we could break out, but as we're breaking out, you're basically accepting more risk. And when you're trading, your risk is your enemy, right? Right now, this is the case. So on the daily, I do feel like we are going to continue to the upside. I feel like I have a lot of conviction that we're going to continue up, but I do feel like on the 4 hour, we're due for a back test. We're due for a pullback. And the reason being is if you look at the 4 hour, the RSI right now is very, very overbought. It's very overbought and overextended away from the EMA, which means that we're going to want a mean reversion back to get very close to this EMA once again. Every time you can see in the past, every time the purple line pulls away from the yellow, eventually the yellow wants to sort of catch up. In that case, we kind of hesitated here. We gave the yellow line some time to actually get there. And then finally, we came back down and allowed it to consolidate and join itself again, right within this consolidation. Now, what about if this repeats itself? It's very, very likely, because if you look at the previous price action, it does happen all the time where we get that impulsive wave, we get the consolidation, and then we potentially get a little bit of a reversal, a backtest, a breather, a retracement, whatever you want to call it, and then we get another opportunity to get in. So for me, on the 4 hour, it's not time to get into fresh longs on Bitcoin. Right now, in my opinion, it's about protecting yourself. If you are in a long position that you got in at lower levels, when I was talking about the class B bullish divergence, we'll go take a look at that again just to kind of confirm and make ourselves accountable. You can see that right now it kind of left off, right? So this is the time to be defensive, trail up your stop losses, take a bit of profit. If it does continue to the upside, continue taking profits and continue trailing up the stop loss, just in case this thing decides to reverse in the short term, meaning the 4 hour. At least you're able to scale away a bit of your gains, right? And then keeping in mind that the daily is still looking bullish and we want to be able to trade that trend. So understand that right now we're in a bullish trend on the daily. The 4 hour is almost, it looks like it's getting to that point where, you know, the daily or the bullish momentum might get exhausted very soon. So you got to get into a defensive position. But however, after a back test, a full reset into oversold conditions here on the 4 hour, I will be happy to re-enter a long position once again, given the fact that the daily, again, the daily, let's go back to the daily. This is the 4-day, but the daily has already full reset to oversold conditions and potentially is looking for a full reset to overbought conditions, right? Oversold to overbought. That's what I'm looking for. Now, we could backtest, like I said, on the 4 hour, get that confirmation low, a higher low on the RSI on the momentum, and then finally continue to the upside. And just keep in mind that the 50, again, the 50 zone on the RSI is chop zone. Every time we get into the 50, we kind of hesitate and we go sideways for a little while. Okay, so we are definitely there. We can consolidate here for a bit and get that next leg up, and then let's see what happens, guys. This is the riskiest spot in the chart. You're looking for a breakout move. We could get rejected. We could actually break out. The best way to think about it is if we eventually break out, we would like a back test of that breakout, give us a confirmation, a full reset of our size, full reset of momentum, and then we'll re-enter with that confirmation. I am not a breakout trader, guys. I am basically a swing trader that looks for bottom positions and starts looking for momentum shifts in the momentum and correlating the price, and then from there I start building a position. So for me, going long in right now is a bit dangerous on the 4 hour. The daily, fine. If you get into a long based on the daily, you might get that back test. You're going to have to hold that red until it kind of continues to the upside. But this Bart Simpson recovery right now is looking really healthy. Just to be clear, Bart Simpson sometimes, you know, get deep retracements. We can get a railroad track retracement right now based on the 4 hour. So I'm very, very hesitant here getting into fresh longs, as I've been saying. So the daily EMA is looking good on the MACD. Green histogram bars, RSI is looking like it's lifting up, continuation to the upside, and back to the 4 hour once again. A nice overbought scenario. The MACD EMAs are facing up with a nice fat green histogram bar to the upside, which means that's very likely that we continue nice volume into this pump. So I feel like we could continue to the upside. Now, again, overbought conditions doesn't mean that you're going to exit your entire scenario, right? You're not going to exit your entire position. That's actually risky. You're actually risking the opportunity to make more gains. There's no sign of bearish divergence here in the 4 hours, so there's no data here to suggest that the bears are done. In fact, we could hang out here for the next little while, continue pumping to higher levels. That's something that happens, and it's very, very, very common, especially with big impulsive moves in a typical bull run for sure. I feel like we're still in a transitionary phase from bear market to bull market, and we could expect a lot of sideways action. That's why I'm very adamant of trading ranges and taking profits at critical levels of risk. When risk starts to play in, I start to take profit. So for me, this starts to begin a zone of risk, and I wouldn't exit your entire position because the daily's still looking like it wants to be bullish, and you're still in a bullish trend here on the momentum, but I would start protecting yourself. Again, trail up the stop loss and take a bit of profit. Let's look at the 4-day for a second. 4-day still looking like it's in the chop zone. Okay, we're still here. Look, we're facing up again in the 50 zone. So again, we can consolidate here for a good while within this area here, guys. And as that consolidates, we can get a little bit of dips, capitulations, a little bit of, liquidity grabs at lower levels, and then finally spring off of those liquidity grabs at maybe 22,000, 23,000. Most bearish scenario for me, in fact, would be about 20,000 to 19. That's where I would be aping in. I would be going very, very heavy on some of these projects, including altcoins, a lot of good layer ones that we've been talking about that are critical levels. Think about it. Layer ones are down here. Okay, layer ones are all down here. Most of them are down here in comparison to Bitcoin. So like I'm talking about a lot of them, Phantom, Polygon Matic, we're talking about Algorand, we're talking about Cardano, we're talking about AVAX, we're talking about a lot of those layer ones, right? They're all down here desperately trying to hold up. But look where Bitcoin is. Bitcoin is all the way up here. It got a nice rally up 100% from the bottom, and a lot of these altcoins might want to catch up with an altcoin season, especially if Bitcoin kind of hesitates around this zone for the next little while. And this is why I'm very eager as to taking profits once we get into the riskier zones at the top. Okay, so the 4-day still, EMAs are coming down. RSI is coming down, the momentum is coming down. You can still see quite bearish, but the RSI is in the chop zone, so we can kind of hesitate here for a bit. What is the weekly looking like? Also very down for the, maybe getting a bit of relief in the short term, but a full reset to oversold conditions. Look at the MACD, very bearish. EMA is facing down, red histogram bars. So guys, what I'm talking about right now is a short-term relief to the upside in a scenario where we could potentially go sideways for a good while. Okay, and that would be very, very bullish for altcoins. Okay, guys, I think that's all. I covered Bitcoin pretty good. Now, in this case, if you join me live in the live stream, I'll definitely go over Bitcoin once again. We can look over Ethereum. We can look over a lot of altcoins. But right now, what I'm really looking at is how Bitcoin is going to perform against altcoins, right? A lot of us are looking at altcoins to really make some good gains. And Bitcoin, of course, 5% is great, but we know that altcoins can do some really good magic on our portfolios, and the only way we could really do that is taking a bit of risk. But if we can use Bitcoin as a leading indication that the market right now is going to go a little bit stagnant with Bitcoin, we can essentially say, you know what, Bitcoin, hold on here for a bit, and we'll start deploying a bit of capital into some speculative assets that are, a little bit more volatile, and that might give us those gains that we're looking for. So Bitcoin, at the end of the day, deserves our attention, but I think we covered it here. I think at the end of the day, what we have to expect is that Bitcoin might go sideways for the next little while, and we'll be deploying capital as seen fit. Guys, if you want me to do any deep dives in future videos, feel free to join the Discord. The Discord community is great. There's a section, there's a channel there where you can basically request any deep dives that you're interested in. There's also sections for every single altcoin that I cover here on the channel, trade setups, fundamentals, all that stuff. And of course, if you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Guys, the community is hot. Right now is actually the time to get involved in the community, to start learning about the projects that you're interested in. Get fundamentally bullish, guys. Spend the time, because the bull market is around the corner and you want to be basically fundamentally bullish. Guys, I'm live at 7:30 Eastern. Feel free to join. Take care, have a good one, and don't forget, buy the dip.